Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Can we talk about Jem and the Holograms? Yes, everyone, welcome back. Here we are once again. We are the Can We Talk About podcast. Can We Talking without any kind of script, because Kristen, god damn it, I forgot to write an intro, and I don't want to waste 5 minutes writing an intro here, so here we are.
I know this is part of the intro, because I have a Blue Apron recipe waiting in my refrigerator that I would like to make within the next 2 hours.
We are the Can We Talk About podcast. If you don't know whom we are, we love
now you
talking.
Know.
Now you know that we fly by the seat of our pants in a way sometimes when it comes down to it. When I feel like, because Kristen, right in the intros, I don't know what I'm supposed to say about Jem anymore, so...
You feel like you've covered it.
Because Kristen, I like to make these to try and be like, oh, I'll pad it out to be like a minute, and then we get to the oh-so-frighteningly fashionable shit, Neon Nightmare or whatever. Even then, I like how that kind of became the norm for that, because Neon Nightmare was definitely something that was just kind of...
You just pooped it right out into the Google Doc.
That's where we are today, because, you know us, we are talking about that Neon Nightmare, that pastel phantasm, that oh-so-frighteningly fashionable 80s cartoon, air quotes classic, Jem and the Holograms. I am a time-displaced Baroque lady. My name is Joe.
I'm gonna fuck Mozart. I'm Kristen.
And we are watching Jem and the Holograms via Shout Factory's Jem and the Holograms Truly Outrageous Complete Series box set and the wonderful world of Netflix. Kristen, what are you watching on Netflix this week?
I'm sorry, did you say dramafever.com, home to all of the good Korean dramas? Because that's where I'm at currently. I started watching a series that I think you would be interested to hear about called Strong Woman Do Bong Soon. Do tell. So, it is a Korean drama about a woman who has a power that is passed down to all the women in her family where they have superhuman strength. And not like, I'm really good at picking things up. Literally like, pick up basically anything, punch someone just a little bit, they go flying. And the catch with the power is that if they ever use it for their own personal gain, it disappears overnight.
Oh, okay. For some reason, Kristen, I'm reminded of the scene of Dragon Ball Z with Goku and Gohan just casually trying to take a goddamn drink, but their stupid power keeps breaking the stupid glasses.
It's something like that, yeah.
I'm watching Star Trek still.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
This week, Kristen, we are taking a little journey through time.
A journey through Anglo-Saxon history, you mean?
A journey through some very European and American history, yes.
Yeah, so we're not going that far, really. It could be a lot crazier and a lot more racist, so...
I was going to say, Kristen, would you rather that Techrat...
We go to Shangri-La? I mean, I hate history. Like, blanket, not a fan of the past.
Kristen, let's not forget the past, please. Let's not forget where we came from. Let's make the memories last, baby. Let's not forget the past.
The 90s were fine.
So, Jem and the Holograms are going to be traveling through time. The much vaunted episode that I think I went over this at the end of the last episode. I think this turned into me being angry at Jem and the Holograms traveling through time made me think this was a bad episode. But in reality, it's not that bad.
I mean, the concept of Jem and the Holograms traveling through time, it's a little bit infuriating.
Fucking bonkers and stupid.
It's pretty stupid. So, I don't blame our past selves for remembering the fact that Mozart does the Amadeus laugh.
The hyena laugh,
The hyena laugh, and then just being like, I don't think I'm a fan of this.
Well, let's get on with it here because we've got taking a trip through time. Let's go. I'm gonna hit the old big button here, and we're gonna travel forward in time about 45 seconds to the end of the Jem theme song here. So let's go. We start off, Kristen, this episode was written by Eric Early, a guy who, according to IMDb, was a post-production supervisor on basically, on a few episodes of basically every Hasbro 80s cartoon property out there. He only has 2 writing credits, One is this episode of Gem. The other is an episode of G.I. Joe where Cobra's big plot is to destroy the ozone layer.
So do you think everyone else was, like, out sick? And they were like, Eric, write an episode!
I mean, he does a good job here. We've had a few people that have only written one Gem episode this season so far, and we've had some people that shine like Gina Bakar with Roxy Rumbles, and then some people that don't know how to write a fucking Paul Dini with his goddamn Music is Magic. Fuck you, Paul Dini! Fuck you!
Yeah, none of the dialogue in this episode made me want to bash my head into a wall. So that helped, definitely.
And everybody got a line! Aja got stuff to do in this episode!
Yeah, I'm really starting to, like, notice that certain writers just straight up seem to either forget other characters exist, or straight up have a bias against them.
We start off at Misfits music here, hearing the sound of, what else, Kristen? Lindsay delivering information on a big concert Gem is headlining.
Gem's doing a thing! I'm Lindsay Pierce. Let me tell you about it.
I'm Stormer, but not really.
Not really. Susan Blue here on Gem TV Network.
The information is being delivered to Eric rather than the Misfits, but as we see in a moment here, Pizzazz is clearly watching as well because she calls Eric immediately after the broadcast ends.
I kind of like that consistency. Pizzazz was already dialing her phone before it ended. She heard Gem and the Holograms and headlining, and she was like, on the rotary phone, jert, jert, jert.
Lindsay is talking about the Legends of Music being honored at the World History of Music concert, which, when we see the World History of Music concert later, Kristen, the mural they have on the wall, sucks.
It does. Also, okay, Joe.
Yes.
World History of Music concert.
Yes.
Headline by 80s girl band.
80s synth pop girl band.
I'm afraid I don't see the logic there.
Eric is wearing his hangover sunglasses here, as I called them, which
nice.
He wears for most of the episode.
He's been on a bender this entire episode.
Ever since the middle of nowhere, he's just been drinking himself into the fucking grave.
After he almost lost the Misfits and saw his paycheck disappear before his very eyes in a hallucination caused by poison bramble.
Eric is complaining that Gem is getting all the breaks. He's just complaining to nobody in particular, and then...
I don't promote my band, and I'm upset that Jerica promotes her band. I guess, to be fair, Jerica doesn't really promote Gem. People just come to Gem.
It's Lindsay promotes Gem, Kristen.
Yeah, Lindsay, man, she should start asking for a paycheck.
Fucking payola, goddammit. This all over again.
But with VJs. See, I remembered what you taught me about what payola is.
I hope the audience did as well.
Did you listen to that episode? You better. This would be a weird place to start.
K-Gem? Wow, that great episode, K-Gem.
I mean, I guess we did say it was really terrible, so I wouldn't be surprised if somebody skipped it based on that. We don't do ourselves a lot of favors.
Pizzazz calls Eric immediately here because Eric can't be the only one complaining, and yes, here's where she's just like, I want to be the headline act at the World History of Music concert, Eric, and you're fucking through if we can't get it.
Well, thank God that doesn't come to pass, huh?
Kristen, I understand what Pizzazz wants here, but this is a concert that has probably had months of planning gone into it, and Gem has probably been headlining it for been in talks to headline it for probably a while, and there's promotion about Gem and the Holograms are going to be headlining this concert, and for the Misfits, it's worked before, I guess, where the Misfits waltz in.
You give Pizzazz something that she wants once, all of a sudden Pizzazz wants it all the time. You think she gives a shit about planning? About producing? No!
The Misfits can waltz into anything Gem and the Holograms are going to do, and they could just basically be like, hey, we're an 80s synth-pop rock band, girl band with a saxophone lady instead of a drummer. How about we get to play? And then
all these men in business suits push each other over and go, holy shit, it's saxophone! That band has 2 drummers, that's too many.
Eric realizes this is a fucking crazy proposal by Pizzazz, and he's just like, Techrat's working on something, because I'm assuming that Techrat's working on something is kind of like a blanket statement that Eric can use whenever Pizzazz asks for something.
And then he just figures out how to apply whatever Techrat is working on to the current situation.
Exactly.
I have a gate wobbly device. Let's use it to wobble the Haven House benefit.
We fade to the Holograms, who have no time for a fucking introduction because it's time for a song, Kristen.
In media res, we call it.
Song number 1 of the evening, Rock and Roll Is Forever, which I don't know why they kept the title the same.
No, they never say that. I know, we've complained about it before.
No, we've complained about it before. This is the song, it's being used in basically the same context here, but Kristen, let me tell you, the imagery of this song is, 1, hilarious, and 2, horrifying.
It's confusing. We'll talk about it.
I like the part of the beginning here. Gem is like snapping to the beat and there's lasers coming off of her fingers.
Pew pew. She's gonna use that to be culturally insensitive in a minute.
Kimber is also splitting her efforts between two keyboards, which from watching a lot of...
What a fucking show-off.
From watching a lot of Gem music videos again recently, she does that in Jealousy, too, I noticed.
That, I feel like, for dramatic effect, it makes sense. Here, I mean, that was also a Brain song that didn't actually happen, right? No, Jealousy did happen.
No, Jealousy happened, yeah, no, that was when they were filming a thing. So yes, to be flashy for a movie, two keyboards, great. Practicing in Starlight House, probably not.
Showing off for all those orphans.
Gem transforms into her gear from Freedom here, where I looked into it, and it's like, they can't be using this outfit over and over again to not make a toy of it. And as it turns out, there was going to be an American Beauty Gem using this outfit here, and it's a good outfit. I like it.
Mm-hmm. It looks very much like a doll's outfit.
Yes, exactly. Which is why I looked it up. So, we get to Kimber here. Well, we get an American flag flying behind Gem, and she fires a fucking...
She's American!
An American laser at Kimber, and you'd think, oh, she'll be wearing something American too. No. No. Does this say something about their heritage, possibly, Kristen, where Kimber gets shot with a fucking heritage laser and ends up in a kilt for some reason?
They're sisters, so theoretically, wouldn't they both be America?
So Kimber, ends up flying away on the Union Jack here in her kilt, and we get here, they both
Why not put a tartan behind her?
They both fire a laser at Shayna, who gets a Jamaican flag behind her, and what looks like a very... I refer to as a traditional-looking dress, because, Kristen, I don't know anything about Jamaican fashion. I don't know why she has maraca-looking things.
Unfortunately, they didn't really teach us about anything other than white fashion in college, so that's a blind spot for me as well. I only know about Japanese and Korean fashion of traditional clothing through my own research.
And then they shoot one at Rhea, and, Rhea's flying on a Mexican flag, and she's got a sombrero. Or a big hat.
Yeah, a big hat. It might not be a sombrero. Let's give them some credit.
You're right, because I don't know the fashion of Mexico. So here's where the really confusing part happens, Kristen, where they all fire at Aja, and Aja gets turned into a geisha, and she's flying on a Japanese flag, which is seemingly counter to what we've heard about Aja previously, to where she knows how to speak Mandarin? Cantonese?
That or Cantonese. We're not sure because our memory is terrible.
In Adventure in China, did she say, I want to brush up on my Chinese?
She might have. I wouldn't put it past this series. That was a really long time ago. It is not our fault if we don't remember. I need to review this footage really quick to see if they had her wearing her kimono correctly. I need to see whether or not she's a ghost. After a period of deliberation that took way too long, and a lot of me making L's with both of my hands, I have determined, with a lot of cutout audio, that the way Aja is wearing her kimono is incorrect.
That she is dead.
Yep, when it comes to kimono, I'm taking this straight from a Wikipedia page on Japanese funeral. During life, both men and women cross the front of a kimono or yukata with the left side over the right. On those occasions in which the corpse is clothed in a traditional kimono, it is crossed right over left. I have been staring at this image of Aja in her kimono. It is crossed right over left. Aja is dead. Aja is dead and has been replaced with a lookalike, much like Avril Lavigne.
God damn it. Just finally we get an episode with Aja doing something and she's dead. New Aja is here.
And you guys fucked it up. I'm not surprised.
So everybody's flying on a flag through space here as the funeral procession for Aja here because she's dead. And the song ends with everybody playing their song in the traditional garb, and that's it. I mean, Rock and Roll Forever is not a very long song, and I think it would benefit from being like 10 seconds longer because it's a good song, but...
Yeah. You know what seems crazy to me?
What?
If they're implying that Shayna is of Jamaican heritage, doesn't it seem nuts that they wouldn't have tried to give her an accent too? Doesn't it just seem improbable that they wouldn't have made her voice actress do an accent?
I bet they tried. And
she just had her wits about her enough to be, no, I'm not doing that. She
did it so bad on purpose that it was just like, yeah, no, that's not happening.
I was going to say she sounded like Hermes from Futurama, but I don't know who his voice actor is.
Phil Lamar?
Phil Lamar is not Jamaican, is he?
I have no idea what Phil Lamar is, Kristen. Phil Lamar's Samurai Jack, that's great.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, but you know what, Joe?
What?
Fuck Bobby Bailey, this just doesn't sound right.
It does not sound right at all. Oh yeah, this was supposed to be a cover of it. Wait a minute, this Rock and Roll Forever was supposed to be a cover of a Bobby Bailey song, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh Oh, did you forget that? Because I remembered.
I forgot that. Old Meets New was such a long time ago. It's not as long as time ago as Adventure in China, but I do not remember that. Oh my god.
It was over a year ago, actually, huh?
The song they need to do at the World History of Music concert needs to do everyone justice, not just a cover of a song by Bobby Bailey and the Tornadoes.
Hey, question.
Yes.
Did they really expect to write a song that mashed together the world history of music and have it sound good?
I mean, they tried with Rockin' Down Through Time, as we'll see later, which basically, as they tried...
Yeah, with the world history of music, let's put an A harpsichord.
Kimber put a little bit of harpsichord at the beginning.
History.
And that's it.
We can't think of any other old instruments. No gongs in this one. No Viking horns.
So for some reason, Kristen... Doesn't it just, for some reason, Jem is just kind of like, why don't we just ask Synergy? Maybe we'll see what she thinks about the fucking world history of music.
Okay. Hey, Synergy, go to Wikipedia.
A creepy fucking semi pulls up in front of Starlight Mansion here. Very, very conspicuous.
What? No.
As we see the Misfits and Techrat and fucking Eric are all here, and Roxy's just like, why are we fucking dealing with Techrat? Get him out of here.
They're in this enclosed space together, and she's like, Eric, you know he smells weird. I'm not going to try and be tactful about this.
Once again, Kristen, I forget, thanks to our podcast, that Techrat is not actually Eric's son as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
just look like such a happy family. Anyway, Techrat, you want to tell us about your science fair project?
I invented a time travel machine.
What the fuck?
He put a Game Boy in a blender.
Oh, that would do it.
That was actually, I'm wrong, that's the fucking alternate universe machine from Homestar.
Whatever.
Is the Game Boy in the blender. Anyway, he's gonna use it to send Jem and the holograms back in time, and Pizzazz, rightfully, is like, Eric, I think Techrat's been watching too many bad movies.
Yeah, he suddenly decided, okay, jerk-off robot, nailed it. Gate scrambling machine, did it. Jem Google alerts, I set that up. Now what should my next big project be? Oh, I know. Let's travel through fucking time.
So what Techrat does here is he inputs Jem and the holograms, 1781 Vienna, and that's
Why did he send them to a time period that has a shitload of culture?
Far be it from me to tell Techrat how to send someone through time on his own machine, Kristen, but why not send them to, like, the Dark Ages, or, like, where Eric ends up, where there's fucking...
The plague.
Dinosaurs.
During the plague.
During the plague.
Just hope that they will just end up in a gutter with rats already in their mouths. Boom.
So Jem and company are hanging out here, basically, and because they're in the room with Synergy, somehow Synergy gets roped along into this as well.
Well, they do say Jem and the holograms, which does include Synergy.
Sure. That's the...
They are not Jem and the holograms unless Synergy is involved.
Kristen, Jem and the holograms is not a proper name for anybody, considering Jem is Jerrica Benton. So when Techrat inputs in, does he know that he also time displaced Jerrica Benton? And Synergy? And a computer? How does this work?
Don't ask me! Why are you yelling at me?
Techrat literally only has to type in Jem and the holograms, 1781 Vienna. He doesn't have to type in anything else and just hit enter and then they're gone.
No, we don't have enough time to do Jerrica Benton,
Let me
Jem, Kimber Benton, Aja Leaf, Shayna Elmsford, Rhea the other one. He doesn't even know Rhea's name. I do. It's Carmen Alonso.
Don't they have a salmon-haired lady or something? Whatever.
I think her name is Salmon.
So they all blink out of existence here, and Techrat goes, "You might say they're history, Eric."
Take back what I said about there not being any bad lines in this this episode.
A side effect of Techrat's machine, however, is that it brings back...
I don't think side effect is the right word. I think, like, straight up broken ass part is what you say.
Downside. Side effect, downside. No.
Yeah.
The machine brings back someone from the past to the future, and a woman all elegantly dressed here. Kristen, I believe you determined this is a Baroque fashion. Or
it's Rococo.
Rococo, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Between Baroque and Rococo. Barococo, of course.
Yep, my favorite.
And she's like, "What happened to Wolfie?"
So what Techrat actually says is that they need to do an exchange of, like, body mass.
Doesn't make sense.
So,
Doesn't make
all
sense.
of the whale bones in that lady's corset and all of the metal in her cage skirt weighs as much as a rock band.
And a computer.
And a supercomputer. That's my favorite part of this episode, I think. Oh, it's the trade-off in body mass. Okay. Are you sure?
The woman in the dress goes, "I'm in the future!" Oh!
She takes it pretty well.
Kristen, again, far be it from me, like, I don't know how often the word future comes across the lips, or, like, referring to tomorrow, or, like, more than tomorrow as the future. I don't know when that became common. Why is this woman...
Like, would people in that time period even have, like, a concept of, like, the far-off future? I'm not calling them idiots or anything.
No, that's the thing. That's where I'm confused as to, like, I don't think... that would be, like, her going, I'm in the future? It's, like, why is she not speaking German as well? Or whatever they were speaking in Austria in the 1700s?
You asked that question and you know there's not a good answer. How dare you?
Stormer starts tending to the woman because, of course, she does. And then Jeddah just calls Techrat trouble, which is pretty damning coming from Jeddah.
and I know trouble. They call me Jeddah Trouble Sheila Burns.
Air quotes Jeddah, air quotes Sheila. Air quotes, air quotes, air quotes.
I lost it. I really lost the thread in the middle there.
Trouble Burns. We clockwise wipe to the past here at this point. Jerrica is now Jerrica again, and the holograms all kind of, like, blink into reality. And thankfully, Rhea didn't end up teleported into the table in the space behind. Kristen, with all the teleporting the holograms are doing here, Jimi Hendrix fucking trips over Aja later. If they blinked to existence half a second later, his ankle would have been inside Aja's stomach.
Yeah, they're lucky that, like, none of their heads teleported into a guillotine.
Jerrica tries to contact Synergy because they're like, wait a minute, what happened? You're Jerrica again. And we find that Synergy, for some reason, is in the basement of wherever the fuck they are. And
they all get transported to the same exact spot. Synergy, for some reason, is like time tripping.
And she switched to 2, and I put, I believe, 5 air quotes here, battery power, to turn Jerrica back into Gem.
Yeah, sure.
Shayna looks outside and is just like, hey, everybody, come over here and look at this. And there's a fucking, like, a town crier here going...
Extra, read all about it. I forgot how to speak German.
There's a theater performance by one Royal Viennese theater man, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. And Jem is just like...
everyone's like, oh, we've heard of him.
Jem is just like, Synergy, what's going on? And Synergy goes, I believe we're in this exact month of the year 1781 in Vienna. It's the only thing that makes sense. And Jem's just kind of like, okay.
If you say so. Again, they take it pretty well, too. Oh, we time traveled? Well,
Shayna's the only one who tries to refute what's going on here by going, that's impossible, and that's it.
And Jem's like, it's happening, so take your impossible and shove it up your ass.
Jem asks Synergy for some period costumes. And here they all, get their fucking Rococo fashion, and Kimber has her outrageous, but how are we gonna get home? Which is a very important question to ask.
Yeah, also, I'll make a note now, because this is the entire episode. Synergy spends this entire episode basically in isolation, not having any idea where she is, and they're like, let's fuck around in Vienna! Like, they were so tempted by immortality in Shangri-La. That now they're like, let's really enjoy this, though.
That question is left out to fucking die on the vine as a cackling hyena walks in. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Mozart.
Have you seen the movie Amadeus? I haven't.
You haven't?
I've seen parts of it.
Really? Even when we had it on DVD and I watched it, like, all the time.
Yeah.
Huh. Anyway.
That's when I saw parts of it.
He came in here looking for George Costanza, the lady from before.
God damn it. All this George, every single fucking episode. What's wrong with us?
And... he just assumes the holograms are her friends.
That's another callback to Old Meets New. Because the shady politician looked like George Costanza also.
Kimber just blows their cover immediately, too, by going, who's Costanza?
Aja is like, I think that's his wife?
And Mozart comes over here and he's just like, aha, wife, not yet.
And Aja is like, yes! Yes!
Aja wants to get her fuck on with Mozart in this episode. And Kristen, alright, truth be told.
Would you, if you could go back in time, you would have sex with Mozart, is what you're saying.
With a famous person as famous as Mozart. Probably. Then again, I don't know what hygiene standards are like in the fucking 1700s,
That's
Kristen.
true, you would definitely catch something. I heard that guy was freaky.
Anyway. He asks...
now that we know that Aja got chlamydia from Mozart.
He asks... who they are, and Jem just kind of covers up by going, musicians, which,
I doubt it.
Helps her out of every single situation in this episode, basically.
She, doesn't know how else to introduce herself? Is that the only part of your identity that you can, cling to, Jem?
Mozart wants to play them something, so they follow him out of the room here. Shanna looks really weird in a powdered wig, Kristen.
They all do.
They all kind of do, yeah.
When, Mozart was leaning on Aja because of her blue eyebrows, I thought she was actually Jem.
The holograms are more than a little starstruck here, considering Mozart is one of the greatest composers ever, and then Aja calls him gorgeous and gets chlamydia.
She has to pick up her skirt and fan her very, very warm vagina.
So they basically have Mozart play Mozart's greatest hits here, and then he gets all flustered and shit.
Okay,
and,
Joe,
yes.
To be fair to Jim.
Yes.
I thought they were going to do a Flight of the Conchords with Mozart. An Easy-to-Play Mozart book with him, and it turns out that Gem and the Holograms kind of wrote Mozart's music. Again, this is how this episode got better for me, because I thought they were going to do very stupid things, but they didn't.
I'm really glad that they didn't do the Flight of the Conchords thing, because I thought that was going to happen too. But as it turns out, it's not really the music that Mozart's having a problem with, it's that damn fucking Salieri.
Yeah, he just has like a compositional limp dick right now.
He exposits the plot of Amadeus, basically, which, Kristen, if you remember Salieri, of course.
No, I don't.
You don't remember F. Murray Abraham being all like...
Oh my god, I remember the fart piano.
Good, alright. That's all you need to remember.
I think that was most of the movie.
So, the fart piano.
That's okay. How would you describe it?
Alright, I understand. No, I know. So, Mozart is just kind of like here, oh, he's my biggest rival ever! And in Amadeus, Mozart doesn't really know that Salieri hates him, so...
Oh, I remember that part.
I mean, again, it's a cartoon. Who gives a shit? It's nice that they're even
Kids
referencing...
don't know.
It's nice that they're even referencing the movie, so whatever.
I didn't even know Salieri was a real guy.
He is, yes. He's regarding a tale of fear that Salieri's men are going to beat him up, and he... as he's telling this tale, he falls back into Aja's boobs.
He backwards motorboats her with that ponytail.
And she caresses his hair as it happens.
Turns out she's into that.
And then he goes, please call me Wolfie.
Get me out of here. So, now, the more I think about that laugh, the more I think that I probably wouldn't have sex with Amadeus. Regardless of how cleanly he was.
Gem and Company promise Mozart will get to his concert, and here's where I wrote, Kristen, haven't these fucking idiots ever heard of The Butterfly Effect starring Ashton Kutcher?
Are you sure? Wait, who is it in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, then?
Jim Carrey.
Okay. They're basically the same person.
They are really not.
And their hair is similar.
Aja kisses Mozart's cheek, and he laughs like a fucking idiot again. And, Kristen, why does Aja's love interest have to be a dude from the 1700s with a girlfriend?
She just can't catch a break, huh?
The holograms are going to distract Salieri's men so Mozart can get to the concert here. Jem says Salieri probably never had to deal with anything like Synergy before, and she'd be right!
You think so? God!
Synergy changes Shayna into Mozart, which Kristen...
See, you wrote... And Aja starts kissing on her immediately. And what I was going to say, or what I thought when I watched it, it was, and then Aja asks for 10 minutes alone with Shayna. See, you do it this way, you avoid the chlamydia entirely. Because you know Shayna's good.
Salieri's men are here to kick Mozart's ass as they leave, and for some reason, Jem is like, you will not take my brother without taking me!
I've inserted myself into this canon.
Kristen, I wrote that they disguised Shayna because a black lady in the 1700s Vienna might be weird, but I don't know enough about history, and looking into the Wikipedia page, I don't know if I could look for demographics of black people in Vienna in the 1700s.
I guess, and it's a sad fact, really, you can just kind of assume that most time periods are not great for black ladies.
Also, I don't know why Jem claimed to be Mozart's sister. The rest of the holograms are just like, oh, we're friends. We're friends of Mozart. And they get taken away too, so why the fuck did Jem... it doesn't matter. It doesn't
Drama.
Eric Early, whatever. You wrote a good episode. I don't know what you were doing there.
So they all amicably get into this carriage that luckily had enough room for all 10 of them.
We wiped to the fucking Grand Hall or whatever.
The Kennedy Center.
We wiped to the Kennedy Center, where Salieri is basically playing the role of the Misfits here, being like, where's your buddy Mozart? I could play a sonata, though. How about I play it?
I don't even know what a sonata is, like, compared to other types of music. I would just call it a piano piece, personally. Don't really know what the word sonata denotes, personally. This is me, Kristen, talking.
Not you, Salieri.
I assume that he knows.
The Emperor whatever starts chiding the Archbishop who promised a Mozart concert, damn it, but aha! Mozart is here as he runs onto stage with his hyena laugh and Kristen a Scooby-Doo screech as he stops.
Yeah, he does a Risky Business slide in and then Old Time Rock and Roll starts playing, which is weirdly appropriate.
Guards drag Salieri off the stage, basically, and it's the old-timey...
He didn't do anything!
It's the older-timey version of the fucking cane coming out of the stage left.
Yeah, canes hadn't been invented yet, so they had to have dudes with axes. And if we know anything about Gem and the Holograms and its habits, then those guards were also waiters.
Serving the pasta, or all that Viennese sausage.
Yep, I assume just tiny little weenies, and that's all everyone ate.
And in true Holograms fashion, Mozart just starts playing, and nobody's mad at him for how late he was.
And he's talking while he's playing, and it's like, dude, microphones don't exist. That piano is definitely drowning you out.
We fade to the carriage, and what exactly is the fucking plan here that Gem had at this point, or where exactly does it... She goes, I think this has gone far enough. Okay, alright.
The plan is, fuck this. We're done.
Show us, please, almighty Gem, you fuck.
So, Gem says, hey, Synergy. Robbers?
They are named as highwaymen, Kristen, and again, I looked on the Wikipedia page for highwaymen. Doesn't say anything about Austria, but the term was first used in the 1600s, so hey, highwaymen in Austria in the 1700s, it's possible. I don't know.
You got us this time.
Really, this episode is putting a really big shine on how little each of us know about history.
Yeah, we're doing some fact-checking. At least I knew to look for Aj's kimono fuck-up.
Salieri's men all run away at the sight of the highwaymen here, and instead of driving the carriage back, everyone gets out in their fucking big-ass hoop skirts and they walk back!
They're hologram hoop skirts, so it's fine.
You're right, excuse me. Back to the concert. As Mozart finishes the song here, he looks out into the crowd and very specifically is just like, oh shit, Gem, you made it! But there's a thunderclap noise outside because it's a fucking dark and stormy night. Whatever. And it turns out the storm is doing something to affect Synergy, who is underground and on battery power, if you remember.
Really quick.
Yes.
One of the things I do, will give this a pass on, where normally I do not tolerate this trope at all, the someone on stage seeing someone in a crowd thing. But I don't think the lights were quite as bright before electricity was invented.
You're right. No, you're probably right. Okay. This lightning storm is affecting Synergy for some reason, and we cut and see her, and she's got, like, all electric hair and shit looking, and she's just like, signal, static, interfere, power levels.
I'm going through a tunnel, Jerica.
So the holograms all start glowing, like, super pink here, and the crowd gasp and go, they are witches, sorceresses, destroy them. Kristen. Kristen. The Salem Witch Trials. 1692, I think? I didn't write it down, but 1692. So, nearly 100 years ago, in Puritan America.
I read The Crucible.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Giles Corey.
Alright, again, I don't know. I didn't look into this here about how long people were like, yeah, magic.
Did Vienna believe in witches?
Kristen,
Google can't tell us that.
I'd like to think that in a time where the fucking Declaration of Independence was signed, we would be over thinking people were witches.
Yeah, you would think witch hunts weren't a thing, but then stuff like McCarthyism and the Red Scare happened, so clearly...
Allegorical witch hunts, Kristen.
Well, not literal ones. Well, you have me then.
The holograms all run out of the theater here, and are pretty much instantly cornered in an alley. The thunder rages as the crowd all shouts, "Stone the witches to death!"
They didn't have better ways of dealing with witches when I guess they couldn't say hang them.
End of segment.
Or put them on a scale and see if they weigh as much as the duck.
End of segment 1. The holograms are getting fucking pelted by rocks.
Yeah, you see how it feels.
Segment 2 starts. The holograms blink out of existence because Techrat is trying to get rid of the fucking Rococo woman in their semi.
I don't know why they just don't make her a new misfit.
Basically, I mean, she has a lot of pep to her because George Costanza is just kind of like, I'm gonna have Wolfie challenge you to a duel! And Kristen...
That sounds like misfits behavior.
I checked. Duels were still a thing in Austria until 1917, so...
Ouch, you guys. Man.
Eric is intimidated by this lady for some reason and forces Techrat to send her back to her time, even though he has no idea what's going to happen when they do this. So she disappears, and thankfully, Kristen, it doesn't work like a fucking, like, zigzag where the holograms get sent back to Vienna. When the holograms end up getting displaced to send the lady back, like, the holograms end up in 1944, which I don't know why...
It becomes a weird cyclical thing.
Yeah, kind of. So, for some reason, some military dudes show up. Some 1944 military dudes who are part of Glenn Miller's band here, Ben Tiller, the guy who's totally not Glenn Miller.
Of course. I don't know who Glenn Miller is, Joe.
Let's not forget the past, Kristen.
I guess.
They exposit that it's like, wait a minute, this doesn't look like London. Again, taking it very well.
Yeah, they're cool. And they seem like pretty chill, because they don't really raise a stink at all.
No, we don't hear them complain or anything. We fade to 1944 London in the middle of being fucking bombed to shit. Oh my god, there's a war going on!
This seems dark. They couldn't have picked another, place or time period where swing was happening?
Jem asks Synergy if she's alright, and the backup power is holding for now. Is it backup power or battery power, Synergy? Get your fucking facts straight, you fucking robo-mom. Get it together.
They know that the holograms don't know the difference. She could say, my flux capacitor is still full of juice.
Kimber's just like, outrageous!
Nice!
They need to find out where they are, and Shane is just like, we're in London in 1944, duh. And Kimber's just like, are you what the fuck? How'd you know that?
This joke would have landed better if, for 30 solid seconds, the audience watching couldn't see the thing that said 1944 and already heard the thing about them being in London. Because when Shane says it like it's a fact everyone should know, they're like, what? And she's like, there's a poster that everyone already knows is here.
The Ben Tiller Orchestra is playing. This is supposed to be Glenn Miller, of course, but now we're dealing with people who can sue because Mozart is public domain, I guess.
I guess.
They were the greatest band of the swing era.
I'll take your word for it.
Synergy makes them period-appropriate 1940s costumes, even though Jem is just like, Synergy, I hate to ask.
And Synergy gets cut off speaking to Jem before she can go, no, but I'm alone and scared, save me.
Luckily, some dudes from Glenn Miller's orchestra appear here, and they're in his horn section.
We heard you like the thing from 10 yards away.
I know London is getting bombed to hell right now, but hey, come watch us practice.
You shouldn't be outside with all the buzz bombs dropping. What the fuck?
Nobody is like, wait a minute.
Jem takes this very well!
You'd think somebody would be like, 1944 London, oh my god! There's a war.
There's a war!
There is a war. Jem introduces herself and her band, and the dudes seem pretty surprised at a lady band. I thought they were scoffing at first. They were like, I can't wait to spring you on Glenn. It's...
Oh, lady band!
I'm gonna assume it's because they're in a war zone, and it's just lady musicians. Holy fuck! What? I would.
How the hell did you guys end up here? Especially because I could tell you're fucking American.
I expected to see Death and Destruction, Fashion and Fame, not ladies.
Nice.
We cut to Glenn and company. They're finishing their practice here, and the dudes arrive and are like, "Look, we found a girl band." Jem introduces herself, and okay, Jem goes, "I'm Jem, and these are my holograms."
That's creepy somehow.
The holograms. Jim, come on.
Please. The guys that they are already best friends with are like, oh, let the lady band play. What could go wrong?
And Ben is just kind of like, it might fuck up the arrangements, actually, but Kimber takes exception to this, basically, and is just like, if you give me a fucking half hour of your time, Mr. Glenn Miller, I could show you some real future shit.
I have this Easy-to-Play Bowie book with me.
We cut to Kimber at the piano. I bet she hates that it's so fucking big and cumbersome, and that it doesn't have a demo button on it.
It can't play bird noises. Now, she can't use an electric piano.
We get basically the instrumentation to We're Making It happening here. Close-ups on saxophones that will be reused in the music video.
Cool.
As we'll see here. Kimber wrote lyrics in basically 10 minutes to this song. And Ben thinks that Kimber is a pretty out-of-sight gal, and I'm sorry for dismissing your talent, which, hey, good on him.
Yeah, that was resolved very neatly.
We cut to the fucking army dinner or whatever's going on here. Glenn is just like, hey, I'm the Glenn Tiller, I don't know who I am, but here's Jem and the Holograms.
I'm Bobby Bailey, I think.
Kristen, isn't it weird that Jem and the Holograms took their name from that one, girl swing band that performed with Ben Tiller once in 1944? Fucking talk about obscure.
How come no one said, what's a hologram? Hey, excuse me. Hey, lady band, excuse me. What's a hologram?
Song number 2 of the evening, We're Making It Happen.
Holograms.
Which we'll be playing for you right now.
You and me, helping people, together we're making it happen. On and on, stemming the tide, together we're making it happen. We're making the bells of liberty ring, by getting into that wonderful swing. We're adding new notes to those red, white, and blue.
Hey, Kristen.
Yeah,
I like this song.
it's fine.
It's a good song. I think it's because it's one of those things where Eric Early, or whomever, went for like, oh, we should have the Holograms perform a swing song. They did the thing where it's just like, oh, Gem and the Holograms are in a place where the music is different. Let's have them perform a song like that, except it's not racist. So
Except it's a music style this time. Ooh. And no, chopsticks is not a music style.
the only bad part about this song is Kimber is stuck behind the piano for basically the entirety of the song. We don't get to see her sweet fucking like upward rolled hair. What do you call that?
I know the single curl on the front of the hair is now referred to as a suicide roll. I don't know what the little, like, wing cone rolls are, though.
Double suicide roll.
Double suicide rolls.
We've got Bells of Liberty ringing that turn into a trombone. We've got saluting in front of a giant flag, you know.
Real American. It's the war! We gotta keep our boys inspired during the war.
Shots of the brass section. We got Uncle Sam. Fucking people swing dancing. Oh my god, Kristen, it's red, white, and apple pie. Goddamn.
Oh, I sure do love our boys back home. Oh, I lost the accent.
Red, white, and blue silhouettes. Everyone claps, but oh no, Kristen, there's fucking air raid sirens.
Oh! Yeah, remember that war? Remember how we said bomb before?
Holy fuck, there's a goddamn war going on. End of segment 2.
Did any of the people in the Glenn Miller band, like, die in the war? I'm curious.
End of segment 2, a V1 rocket hits the fucking building, a buzz bomb.
Oh, yikes.
And they're called, which I looked at it, it's a bomb that is literally, like, it's got airplane shapes on it. I don't know why. Maybe it drives itself. I don't know enough about the fucking history of World War II, Kristen.
I don't really give a shit if I'm being honest.
Segment 3 starts, and once again, the Holograms avoid near disaster by blinking out of existence.
They narrowly avoid a time paradox.
Techrat's machine is acting all fucky, but he claims he has it right this time. The military men disappear, and some fucking goddamn dirty hippies show up. Goddamn.
Pizzazz is so angry about these hippies that it's fucking hilarious.
Hey man, groovy threads you got on, one says.
The 70s weren't that long ago. Okay, 69 technically, whatever. But, like, seriously?
Kristen, this creates a thing, because remember where we said that Kimber has to be at least 18, more than likely. Gem and the Holograms, during the time of Woodstock, everyone other than maybe Rhea is alive at this point, where they are right now. They are in New York, so they're probably not going to see themselves. However, little weird.
I read Prisoner of Azkaban. I know how this gets fucked up.
So one of the hippies offers Pizzazz a flower, and she goes, "What?" and destroys the flower with her eye lasers.
She grills it and then eats it.
Eric is getting pissy with Techrat, and Pizzazz calls him a moron for not being able to fix the machine. Alright, okay, lady. Okay. You can fucking tell me that my machines aren't good. That's fine. You can touch my machine's brake. Whatever. Okay, that's fine. You can tell me my haircut's stupid. Okay, alright. Hey, I can take it. I'm a man. I know. You call me a moron? Fuck you. 1969. Get out of here.
The worst. Oh no. 1969. Oh, a rock group going to 1969 Woodstock. Well, fuck. The Misfits nearly win this timeline.
Eric gets even more pissed now because there are not only are there more hippies in his fucking semi.
That is a net loss.
He lost his girl band.
Net loss.
Bummer, man. This is turned into a real bad trip, dude.
I get it, like drugs.
Eric gets angry. Probably the angriest we've ever seen Eric in the series so far. Grabbing Techrat by the collar, being like, "What did you do to my girl band?" And he's just like, "Yeah, they were being pissy with me." And it's like, "You don't know how much fucking money I pay you!"
Like, we sent Gem the Holograms back in time with the intention of losing them in time. Give me my fucking girl band back.
Don't yell at your son in public. It's making the hippies feel very awkward.
Whatever. He calls Techrat a jerk. Very funny.
He does. Really intensely yelled insults that are kind of like mild words are just so nice.
It's very funny.
I feel like they have more impact that way.
Like the amount of just calling people jerks in this series, I find very, very funny.
We wipe to Woodstock, where Jimi Hendrix is getting off of a bus, all pissed off, and the Holograms appear. And again, he trips over Aja, basically, and lands directly on top of Aja as well. Rhea, I think, at this point also yells, "Watch out for the bombs!" Which Jimi Hendrix is kind of like, what? Fuck, what?
And, like, that's not even, like, a fun thing that she said that could be, like, misconstrued into something else. Like, I'm having a bad trip makes it sound like this trip that we're taking, this fun adventure, and
It's not going so well.
These bad drugs that I took while I was at Woodstock. Like, you're, like, super high out of your mind at Woodstock before Jimi Hendrix is played. You're wasting Woodstock.
He immediately calls Aja a foxy lady, so we know that this is Jimi Hendrix. And the holograms are all clearly fucking still shaken from bombings here as he helps them up. And then
We have shell shock.
Jem thanks Jimmy very much, and she goes, wait a minute, you're Johnny Beldrix. Close. Almost.
And he goes, no. Close. I can tell by the way you pronounce the word very that vowels aren't really your thing. I'm Jimi Hendrix.
He's Johnny Beldrix, all right, but his his manager is saying now, all of a sudden, he needs to share the stage at Woodstock with the Misfits. Kristen, the Misfits have been in 1969 for 2 minutes. 2 minutes! And they get a fucking gig on stage with Jimi fucking Hendrix at Woodstock.
They are so efficient!
Eric should be ashamed of himself. He can't fucking promote this band at all!
I feel like all Pizzazz had to do was step onto the scene and be like, yes, this belongs to me now.
Johnny also calls the Misfits unhip.
Well, don't be a jerk.
Jem is going to make sure that the Misfits don't play Woodstock, so she turns her head away and whispers very loudly to Synergy.
And Synergy is being kidnapped.
Synergy is in a truck, and she has no idea where the fuck she's going, and her power levels are getting low, which means it must be getting close to the end of the episode.
Okay, how long do we want to say that Jem and the Holograms have been journeying through time?
Several hours at this point. They spent basically, I'm going to say, 45 minutes in 1944, so not too long. They spent the most time in Vienna. If you notice, Kristen, segment 2 was like 3 minutes long, and that included a song.
Yeah.
Because I guess the Woodstock part and the fucking Vienna part are that much more important.
I'm just feeling like Synergy should have a longer battery life for a fucking supercomputer.
She's getting old. They're not charging her as often, or whatever the thing that fucks with the battery, where they charge her too long. They never unplug her charger.
You gotta let the battery run out once in a while.
Yeah, exactly. Shanna is concerned, but we fade to the Misfits. Pizzazz is relaxing, eating grapes, and Stormer, the only person who's concerned about this, is just like, Pizzazz, how are we going to get back to the future? Don't worry about that, Marty. We're playing Woodstock.
I don't think I've seen Back to the Future.
What? That is fucking impossible, Kristen. You have got to have seen Back to the Future.
I've seen a lot of the first one, definitely. Can't say if I've seen all of it. I know I've said Johnny Be Good a bunch of times on this podcast.
I don't know what you could have missed from Back to the... I mean, it doesn't really matter.
You know that my pop culture knowledge is like Swiss cheese.
Limited, yeah. Swiss cheese is a good way to describe it, actually.
Yeah, because I'm not ignorant. I know quite a lot of shit. Just, I don't know a lot of very strange things, too.
You know the important parts of the good shit.
But sometimes I don't.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, Pizzazz is confident that Eric will bring them back because they're his meal ticket. And that's basically, Pizzazz does not give a shit because, one, they're playing Woodstock, and two, Eric needs us, he'll probably get us back. Which, imagine the fucking fury on Pizzazz's face if they did actually get to play Woodstock and Eric brought them back either immediately before or during their performance.
I think she would have actually killed him.
We've also got a fucking sleazy producer man here who, I mean, I don't know who Jimi Hendrix's producer was. I don't know if he was this sleaze man. The sleazy producer man here, he also has Synergy, and Synergy was in the middle of a fucking field, and this dude was just like, hey, what's that thing? Let me take it to the boss!
And for some reason, instead of disguising herself, Synergy like chit-chats with him. She's like, yeah, I'm expensive music equipment, basically.
The sleazy music producer man basically seems to think that with Synergy and the Misfits, he doesn't need Jimi Hendrix, and he's probably right.
He's probably right.
We fade here. The Misfits are getting ready to take the stage when Jem and Johnny and company arrive. Pizzazz is shocked to see the holograms here, because, duh. And she's just like, what are you doing in 1969? And Jem's just kind of like,
Hashtag nice.
kind of hoping you could help me with that one, Pizzazz.
Pizzazz is like,
Oh, I don't know. And she's leaning against Stormer like Stormer's a wall, too.
I think Stormer's probably used to that.
They're about to play Woodstock, so what the fuck does it matter if I explain it to you?
And Jem goes, you think so? One moment, please. It takes like 10 minutes to slowly walk around a corner to do some hologram voodoo.
Jem basically, she's like, aha, but I think you forgot about someone. and I will go get him, as she just runs around backstage and makes a fucking 60s psychedelic Eric here with his money medallion, his fucking striped pants, and his goddamn lavender with a floral pattern jacket.
Nice.
And he comes back and he's just like, aha, but you can't play Woodstock because you're under contract with me, Eric Raymond. Technically, they're not, Kristen, because I don't think the contract covers appearances made before 1986. But then again, Eric might be smart enough to put that in the contract.
Who knows? Cover all of his bases just in case his son invents time travel sometime down the line.
Kristen, if I ever become a big-time music producer, I'm going to make sure to put a little annotation in the notes. It'll be like section fucking 5C.
In the event that time travel comes to exist, you are not allowed to perform for profit anytime before, well, let's see, what's reasonable? When Jesus was born.
If you want to perform for dinosaurs, whatever.
But Jesus, no! Unless you're going to go back in time in order to teach him the entire score to Jesus Christ Superstar so you can perform it with the original cast.
Leave him a How to Play Jesus Christ Superstar book.
Yes.
The sleazy agent man is pissed because, you didn't tell me you were under contract. But Johnny's here, and he basically sucks up to Johnny, and he doesn't seem too unhappy that he's back with his big fucking sleazeball producer man, and then he gives Jem a kiss on the cheek.
Jem should definitely leave Rio for Jimi Hendrix.
He thanks them, and then as he runs out onto the stage, he immediately starts playing the Star Spangled Banner.
Nice. He's like, I had this one in my pocket. Wow, wow. I couldn't remember how the Star Spangled Banner went.
But there's still the matter of Synergy, Kristen, to where the sleazeman, Synergy arrived at this point via truck, and they've strung her up with fucking ropes and shit, and he's just like, all right!
You're gonna hang her! The computer's a witch!
Put the big fucking computer out on the stage, the kids will love it! All those kids at Woodstock, Kristen.
Well, who knows how old this guy is.
Synergy is revealed to everyone at this point, like everyone's like, oh look, there's Synergy! And Pizzazz pushes over the sleazeman because if they can't play Woodstock, then nobody's gonna play Woodstock.
So the snakes in her fingers go into the lever.
She starts fucking with the controls to make Synergy start crashing down towards the stage, but luckily, of course, they all disappear and everyone comes back and they can write off the big fucking supercomputer that they saw as the drugs.
Joe.
Yes.
So velocity.
I was going to say that too. Synergy is free-falling toward the ground.
Yes.
But when she appears...
all of her potential, kinetic energy vanishes, which I think would break physics? I think time stopped.
So, Kristen, let me just say something right here. They're traveling through time.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't matter if it breaks physics.
No! No! I don't understand how any of this works. I'm not a physicist. But, no! But that's stupid.
I agree. However, cartoon.
Stop it.
Finally, it's over, says an exasperated Eric as all the
Not yet, motherfucker!
hippies are gone. Techrat reminds everyone that in order to get rid of the displaced hippies, that everyone had to come home. So, of course, the holograms are all just kind of standing back in the room with Synergy, presumably no later than when this started. I mean, probably a few hours. What would have happened if fucking Bonnie, in her blindness, fell down and scraped her leg? Nobody was there. Nobody could have taken her to the hospital.
See, I thought you were going to say, what if Synergy appeared in the spot that Bonnie fell down and scraped her knee?
And then they would have combined with one another. It would have been, Synergy would have been powered by an orphan.
See, I was going to say then Bonnie would get bisected.
She'd get turned into Mr. House.
Yes, perfect. And then Bonnie is the ruler of New Vegas.
So Synergy says that that's the closest she ever wants to come to being on stage, and Aja does the whole "let us never speak of this again."
Hey, I was expecting them to go into a Synergy, but they didn't.
No, because they're all basically, I mean, to be fair, once they got back, they're probably like, that didn't happen, and if you said it happened, I'm not going to make you think I'm crazy, so fuck you.
Yep, so let's all just agree. No more of that.
Back with the Misfits and Eric, Pizzazz is about to unleash her devil goddamn rage on Eric here because he fucked them out of performing at Woodstock, and he's just like, what? Oh god, oh my god, I can feel the devil, oh Jesus, oh no, please, oh god, oh my god!
It wasn't me.
Pizzazz steals away the controls from Techrat, and Eric gets transported back to dinosaur times here.
Hang on?
Yes.
Pizzazz knows the exact numerical year that dinosaurs existed? Holy shit! She's an archaeologist.
He does a great Charlie Adler scream as this happens as well, and Charlie Adler has really been A+ in this episode with how angry he got.
Pulling his weight.
He really is. The dinosaur appeared in his place. It's a baby dinosaur, thank goodness. And Littlefoot, yes.
I haven't seen The Land Before Time.
And nor have I. Eric is getting chased around as well by a big cartoon brontosaurus, and back in the present, Pizzazz is trying to force Techrat to fight the dinosaur.
Just tame it. Like with a stool and a whip, like you would a lion.
The dinosaur manages to bring Eric back at the expense of the machine ever working ever again, because status quo and it was just completely broken.
How appropriate that a dinosaur would ruin time travel for the rest of humanity.
Out of the frying pan and into the goddamn fire, as Eric now has to deal with Pizzazz's wrath, as opposed to getting trampled by a dinosaur, which, Kristen, I would have probably chosen getting trampled by a dinosaur.
Well, beggars can't be choosers. I think that works there.
Cut to the World History of Music concert. There is a mural behind Gem and Company, which can only have been commissioned by them, because it has Mozart, Glenn Miller, and Jimi Hendrix on it.
Shayna, with her 6 credits of graphic design work, was like, I could probably figure this out.
So we get song 3 of the evening here, which we will also be playing for you because, hey, we gotta pay respects to all those musical artists, so song number 3 of the evening, Rockin' Down Through Time.
Mozart really knows the score. Beethoven had the beat. Old Papa Bach made the harpsichord rock, and Peter Tchaikovsky made 'em move their feet. Now they're rocking down through time, rocking down through time. They're still in our hearts, still on the charts, rocking down through time. Gershwin was a man of note. Glenn Miller led the band. Lennon stood tall ahead of them all. Elvis deserves a hand. Now they're rocking down through time, rocking down through time. The time may be gone, but the music lives on. Rocking down through time. Now they're rocking down through time, rocking down through time. You're still in our hearts, and still on the charts. Rocking down through time.
So, like, they tried.
The song is, I mean, I understand where it's just like, we gotta do the history of music, harpsichord, kind of turns into just a normal pop song after that.
Yeah. If they, like, kind of stuck with it and turned it into, like, a hip-hop harpsichord, like a sort of Walk This Way, but instead of Run DMC and Aerosmith, a harpsichord and Gem and the Holograms.
This song is basically name-dropping the song, because we get, Mozart, really, blah, 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 Beethoven, Bach, Tchaikovsky, all those people.
So you wanted me to tell an anecdote about Beethoven.
I did, so please.
So I don't know a lot about classical music. You can call that a gray area for me, perhaps. It's part of my Swiss cheese. So the only thing I know by name is the Moonlight Sonata. Probably. Who knows? I might know a little bit more than that. Do you want to know why I know that, Joe?
Why do you know that, Kristen?
Because Bijou plays it on the piano in the Game Boy Advance video game Hamtaro Ham Ham Heartbreak. In the haunted house level where you repeatedly have to poke a ghost hamster with a stick.
That is some very... Kristen, have you played Ham and Heartbreak recently, or is
No.
that just pretension?
No, Joe, I could probably recite that entire game.
When they mentioned Beethoven here as well, Kristen, getting back to the song in hand when we're not talking about Hamtaro here.
I would like to talk more about Hamtaro.
Was there not a hamster in the vein of, like, fucking Schroeder from Peanuts where it was just like a piano hamster?
I don't think so.
Okay. Anyway.
I don't know if Jingle played more instruments than just his guitar.
I wanted to call him Slider, but that's from Animal Crossing.
Yeah, that's KK Slider. They're very similar characters, though. I understand why you would be confused.
When Jem mentions Beethoven here as well, there's a bust on stage that smiles, like she pats its head and it smiles, so ew. All the girls are in their ball gowns dancing with the musicians here. We get Gershwin. I don't know who Gershwin is, I'll be honest.
We skip like a couple years here, straight to Glenn Miller. There wasn't music in the meantime.
We get a name drop of John Lennon, which, okay, that's pretty cool. And Elvis Deserves a Hand, which I think Elvis deserves a little more than a hand, Kristen.
Joe, I have a question.
Yes.
They couldn't think of a single female artist?
They are a girl band.
And us!
Get a little,
And Gem and the Holograms!
Get some Janis Joplin in there. Why not? Get a,
name more influential female musicians, Joe. How about Stevie Nicks?
Stevie Nicks is still alive in the 80s.
So?
I don't know if they want to name...
Billie Holiday.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
Sonny and Cher.
Grace Slick of
Dolly Parton.
Starship fame. All these people are still alive, Kristen. That's the problem.
Okay, so if we were doing this in modern times, I would have a great list going here.
Yes, you would. Where I feel like it was hard enough for them to fucking slip by with Glenn Miller, John Lennon, and Elvis.
I guess so.
There's more dancing. Kimber's dressed as a flapper, I noticed at one point. Oh, Kristen, they're still in our hearts and still on the charts, rocking down through time. That's the end of that song there. Good thing Jem rubbing shoulders with all these fucking famous musicians didn't cause any goddamn problems with this timeline.
That we know of.
Some of those people backstage at Woodstock, might remember Jem and the Misfits. It was only 18 years ago, if you remember.
Yeah, especially that producer.
I'd like to think he probably died at Studio 54 doing cocaine bumps off a disco ball.
You know what? As soon as I said that, I was like, nah, he definitely died of a cocaine overdose.
Anyway, that was Journey Through Time. It was
all right, it's over.
That's it. It's over. It's one of those episodes where the song ends and the episode ends, and not like we need closure for the fucking music history concert or whatever. So that's an episode that I thought was pretty good, if not completely, for the fucking goddamn insane premise. Jesus Christ, they traveled through time. Oh my fuck.
Hey, it was real out there. So I'm impressed with how much they reined it in. This was less crazy than Intrigue at the Indy 500.
Yes, again. Which, what? They didn't teach Mozart his own music. They didn't play on the main stage at Woodstock with Jimi Hendrix. So I'm perfectly fine that Jem and the Holograms didn't do too much to fuck up the timeline.
The series as a whole showed a lot of restraint in this episode.
In a series that does not show restraint when it comes to a lot.
Yeah.
So, Eric Early, good on ya. I don't think you write another... No, you don't write another Jam episode, but you made a good contribution. So, Kristen, what did you think of Journey Through Time?
I've made peace with it. Not in the, style of Renaissance Woman where it was oh, this isn't as bad as I thought. I still don't like it, though, and I don't plan on watching it. I would revisit this one.
Yeah, it's
Pick it up, show it to a friend, and be like, hey, check this shit out.
Look at this, a girl band travels through time in a series that's pretty grounded in reality.
Actually, you might need to watch the rest of the series first to kind of get how much of an achievement this episode is. Hang on. Let's watch all of Jem up until this point.
Watch the first 5 episodes. Watch the beginning through the Battle of the Bands, where the most technologically advanced thing is... synergy, maybe?
Synergy. Yeah. So I guess Techrat is showing that he is supposed to be equivalent to Synergy, just a lot more of a fuck-up.
Yeah, and that's what should happen when you've got, some bumbling bad guys here. But I think we've learned that, especially with the Misfits getting on the main stage, we see hyper-competent Pizzazz off-screen working, but scary.
She doesn't need anyone but herself.
Now's the point in the evening where I'll list off all of the fun contact things where you can find us. You can follow us on the Twitter machine at CWTAPod. You can follow me at Octopus. That's AWKTAPUS.
You can follow me at FunnyGirlTM, trademark, where I totally just remembered after me talking about playing Persona 5 my entire life. I found our PSP, which is now my PSP, I guess.
Right.
I own most of the games for it anyway.
Everything other than Peace Walker.
Yep. And I bought a charger off of Amazon, because I couldn't find a charger. And I am now playing Persona 3 Portable, and as of this recording, in total, do you want to know the last time before I booted it up that I had played Persona 3 Portable?
2012.
June 20th, 2012.
Ooh,
right before
nice.
I started college, and I was at 175 hours at level 99.
Well, there you go.
So now, I'm at over 200 hours at level 99, just dating everyone. So you can find some hot Persona 3 Portable content on my public Twitter.
You can find us on the iTunes, on the SoundCloud, on the Stitcher Radio. Leave a rating, give a review, do whatever you feel like, whatever. You could drop us a line, cwtapod@gmail.com, where you can tell us all about what kind of crazy fucking timeline-destroying mishaps you and yours get into, and your not legally binding musician name.
Sounds good.
I'm Johnny Mozzarella.
Are you? Well, I would also be Mozzarella, because we're related.
You would have to be Kristen, but spelled with an I.
No! That's the worst! How dare you! I would be Kristen Mozzarella.
Next week, Kristen, it's Brit Rock, an episode that was, I believe, the writing duo of Ellen Guan and Christy Marks, much like The Princess and the Singer before it, which not much... It's a Jeddah episode, which you feel like they do more with her, but I don't think they really do.
Is this the last Jeddah episode we ever get, first and last?
Kristen, I looked into it. In Season 3, the Misfits get 3 songs total.
Oh.
So...
I keep forgetting how close we are to the end of the season. The Misfits basically stop existing after season 2.
They kind of do. They're there, but
they're only
not
there
really.
for Riot to be mean to them.
Look forward to that. It might be basically our last Misfits episode, depending on what the Misfits do in Hollywood Gem, because I don't remember if they do anything at all.
I hate that I love the Stingers so much, because I'm gonna miss the Misfits.
But hey, get ready for that. It's Brit Rock. For the Can We Talk About podcast, my name is Joe.
I'm Kristen.
And join us next week. We're going to do another voices like this.
Chucks and